folks. Okay, on the way to work early in the morning, and I wanted to do a little bit of talking here about what to do. Okay, the lights go out. You have no heat. You have no electricity. Now you're worried. If you're a homeowner, you're worried about your pipes freezing. Um, there are a couple things you can do to prevent your pipes from freezing. Okay, number one is you can run out there to your main line and turn the water off that comes into the house. All right, that's your number one thing you want to do. Number two is you want to drain out the water that is sitting in your pipes. That means you need to turn the faucets on. Now, you're going to sit there and tell me, well, the faucets won't run if there's no electricity. Wrong. The faucets will run for a short amount of time without power. So what you need to do, though, is you need to not waste that water. So if you can get something like a bathtub bivy, which is just a big water balloon that you put in the bathtub, if you can use that and fill that up, you can take most of the water out of your water heater. Okay. And if you can use like some pots, some pans, things of this nature to drain the water out of each one of your sink faucets. So you want to go through and you want to open up all of your faucets until there's no water coming out. And then you want to go through and close all of those faucets. Okay, but you want to make sure you turn your main line outside to the house. You want to make sure you turn that off, because otherwise you're just going to be drawing more and colder water into your lines, and that's just going to exacerbate your problem that you got. So that's the first thing you want to be worried about. Okay, you want to take care of that immediately. All right, number two, you want to make sure that you've got some kind of heat source. All right, now you can do this several ways. What I have is I have a small kerosene heater, but I have a backup to that kerosene heater of a Mr. Buddy heater. Now, if you use these type of heaters, please go get a carbon monoxide detector. All right, because these heaters do put out carbon monoxide, and you need a detector to make sure that you don't go to sleep and never wake up. Okay, this is a serious issue. Ask any fireman, they will tell you this is a serious issue. So a lot of times you use these, you need to either have a window cracked or some way for fresh air to get into the residence. Another way that you can produce heat is if you have a small generator, whether it be a gas generator, a propane generator, a solar generator, or even a solar kit, and something that plugs into that generator, i.e. an electric blanket, one of those little electric heaters, anything of that nature will work for heat. Okay, you can also look online. There's several things that are sold not for generating heat, but they do generate heat. One of those is a UCO candle. That's UCO candle. Okay, Alaska Prepper had this on his channel about how to sit there and use it and how much BTUs that it put out. Okay, that is one way. Another way is the hurricane lanterns. Okay, hurricane lanterns do put out heat. I don't know if you knew that, but they do put out heat, which is why they were made the way they were made back in the day. Okay. Number three, you could use, everybody talks about the terracotta clay pots with a candle underneath to generate heat that way. You can do that, or you can actually just use your pets. okay? Your pets, if you get your pets inside of a emergency sleeping bag, and I say emergency sleeping bag because those sleeping bags are made to conserve your heat and keep your heat inside it, okay? So if you get one of these emergency sleeping bags, you can use that. Or if you're poor, you can just take regular aluminum foil and put it inside a wrapped up blanket around you, and that aluminum foil will generate and hold your heat in to you. It will literally generate your body heat back to you. That's a little trick I learned while I was overseas in Korea, of all places. It does work. I would not use that for long term. It is a temporary fix. So now you've taken care of your water. You've got that turned off. So you've taken care of your water. You've addressed your heat issue. Your lights, you can just use candles, okay? As always, anytime you use anything with flames, have a fire extinguisher, have a carbon monoxide detector. Do your due diligence. Don't stick it where it can catch the whole house on fire. All right. I think you're a little bit smarter than that. Okay. Now, your last thing that you're going to be worried about is food. Okay. Now, I would suggest that you have something which you can eat straight out of the can, or that you can use like peanut butter and jelly. Okay, if you have jelly, if you get the small jelly packs, you can keep them in your cabinet in like a little small container, and they are good for at least a year that way. And you can use those small jelly packs and with some bread, and you got peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yes, I'm not talking about a filet mignon, but it will get you through a few days of no power. Long term, if the power goes out like it did in Texas for 2 or 3 weeks, long term, then that's when you want to have your freeze-dried foods or your personally canned foods. And that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. But my point was, the power goes out, how do you keep your pipes from freezing? Now, if you do have power, but you don't have enough power to run your furnace, you can drip your pipes. That is another option you have. However, if you have low power and your power could go out while you're sleeping, this is not a good option for you, because of the fact that you could sit there and, you could freeze your pipes doing that, So that's why I suggest, if you lose power or your power flickers, and the power is going to be out for at least a few hours, and you're in cold weather, you need to turn your main water line off. This not only helps you, it also helps the water plant, because then the water plant ain't got to worry about losing all the water out from busted pipes. So just a few tips I had this morning for you. If you don't have a small generator, I would suggest you go get one. I'm not telling you what kind to get. I'm just telling you to get one, okay? And your needs will vary. A small dual fuel generator is a good thing to have on hand, just in case. You might never use it, but you know, it's there if you need it, right? And that's the thing that we should be looking at, you know. Okay, well, I got to go on and go to work, so y'all have a blessed day. Bicycle.